Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Yes, I've actually started at 9 o'clock tonight. Last week, I'd said 9 o'clock and I started at past, and because I'd set the wrong time. But no, tonight was intentional. And the reason is I need to finish a bit earlier tonight. I say that every time, but I do need to finish a bit earlier tonight. Anyways, there is a huge amount to go over. So much I couldn't fit it all in the title of this stream. However, we're going to talk about conspiracies, dark and shadowy, murky things going on at DJI. We're also going to talk a little bit about Chris Ross's new motors. Not these ones that I've got in my hands here, but he's got another set again. We're going to talk about a mouse. Why are we going to talk about a mouse? I'll tell you about that in a minute. A new Speedy Bee frame, as well as CaddX as well. Now, I hope you are all safe and well. I hope you've had a good week. I have also this week, and I am going to talk about this a little bit as well. Well, I was planning to release my review of this, the Qidi Q1. Now, for the eagle-eyed viewers of this stream, that's been there for about 3 weeks. In fact, I forgot to cover it up in one stream and then suddenly realised, actually on Gary's stream, SUAS News, I actually forgot to cover it and it was actually viewable in the background. But yes, I haven't released my review of it yet because I have come across a fundamental issue that I'm waiting for clarification on. I'm really gutted actually because I've spent like 3 or 4 weeks testing the printer with all of the sort of difficult stuff. And then I went to do something which I thought, okay, last couple of tests before we bang it out. And those tests were TPU, and it's an absolute crap show. And it basically won't print TPU. So at the moment, I need to speak to them to find out what is going on, because it is creaking like an old ship. Just to give you an indication of what it looks like. This is a calibration test cube, and that might look okay to you there, but let me go on the overhead and zoom in. And then focus, 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 focus. Where are we? There is the focus. Where is it? There it is. Look at the state of that. Yeah. I know that isn't a blockage. There is something very, very wrong. And we're trying to get to the bottom of it because it prints everything else absolutely perfectly. Yeah, it is very spongy. It's blockage behavior. It's an extrusion problem. The extruder can't actually... seems like it can push TPU. So, that needs to be resolved. And as I said, I'm sitting there and about to go, okay, final couple of prints, talk about TPU, it'll be okay, or it'll be fantastic, or it'll be bad. I didn't expect to go, shit, it actually doesn't work. And what's interesting is, no one else has really mentioned this, apart from Maker Muse, who did have some problems, but no one in any of the reviews that I've seen has gone, yeah, wait a minute, there's a problem here. Or if they have, it's been overlooked. But again, I can't really, as an FPV channel, I can't release a review on a printer that won't print TPU when it should. So we're trying to understand it. And it's really weird because the X Max 3 that Qidi did was fine. I have torn the extruder down. We've checked it. There's nothing fundamental. Well, there's nothing fundamentally wrong in the sense of nothing broken or loose. But I think there is a problem with the extruder. But let's just get to that. Now, before we get into it, and whilst I'm talking about 3D printing, I do... yes, it's very, very, very tight. Killdozer FPV, very. The spring basically isn't a spring, it's a bar. And the way the pivot point is on the wheel isn't right. The wheel sits in the middle of a pivot point as well. It's not ideal. Not ideal at all. So I think the spring needs to be dramatically reduced. But also the filament exit channel is too big in my opinion, because the channel exits and it comes down Let me just find something. Yeah, it's not right at all. Something is broken is the right term to use. And it is definitely not right. Let me just see if this is what I'm looking for. For some reason, on my computer today, VLC is broken. I'm going to open Task Manager a minute, and this is definitely a risk while streaming. VLC is completely broken on my computer today, and it won't open. Don't know why. We've got to open it. Okay, so let me just get to the right piece here. That'll do. Nope, that won't do. That'll do. Can't share that. That's not the right size. Not the right video. Right. God, why does this stuff play up? Media player. Right. Finally. If I go to there, choose desktop. Now you can see it. Let me just get to the right point in the video. Okay, so just to give you an idea, that's the design of the extruder. Let me mute it a minute because I don't want audio. There we go. And what you can see here is, so that's the wheel that is meant to move. You can see there we've got the drive wheels. But if you look, where the wheel is on the pivot arm. So the arm is pivoting from this point down here at the bottom up. But in a minute, I try to move it. Okay, so let me just go to there. There. Right, so the pivot point is here. There is the wheel right at the bottom of the pivot point with the spring up here. But basically, when I try to move it by hand, right, you'll see in a minute, it just won't move. That spring will not compress at all. It just doesn't compress. You actually end up bending this bracket before it moves. Actually, try there. I'm pushing on it, look. It won't move. It's just solid. It's crazy. So that's something that needs to be understood and resolved and moving forward. Now, before we move on to the big content, I'm just going to get this out of the way. For those who 3D printing has bought a bamboo printer, today I actually printed this. Now, I got this kit, right, with the A1 Mini that Bamboo sent me. And this is the Bamboo Lab mouse kit. If you haven't seen it, it's available. I'm actually going to do a video on this because I built it and I realized my audio didn't record, so I can't use that video, but I'm going to order another kit and do it again. Because this kit is actually really cool if you've got kids or you've got anyone that you want to sort of demonstrate 3D printing of. And you can you get the kit from Bamboo that has all the parts in it, apart from the 3D printed ones. And then you build the mouse, which is this one here. Now, I've built this. I've printed it out of carbon fiber PLA on the top and red TPU on the bottom, red PLA on the bottom. Wait for that to sort out. And it's just a really cool kit. That camera should zoom out in a second. There we go. This is a really cool kit if you haven't seen it. You can download it as left or right-handed, but you print all of the plastics. And I've printed the top in PLA CF. And it is really cool. I like that. I really do like that. I went for the red and black because I think it looks great. It's a super cool little project, right? It's like £12 for the mouse kit. If you've got kids or anyone you want to sort of get into 3D printing with, honestly, it's a great little thing to do. And Bamboo Lab have got a couple of these kits. So, yeah, just thought I'd show you it because I really like it. It is super cool. It really is. Okay. Now, I'm going to cover off some short, quick FPV stuff, first of all, I want to talk about. The Avata HD CaddX Goggles X. Now, I'm in the middle of hanging back before I release my second video because I've been doing all my testing on the second pair of Goggles X, which is factory. But there are still people commenting that they are having problems with the new Goggles X with the new heatsink. Now, I am going to be doing a video talking about this. But if I hop over to Facebook, every day there are comments like this where people are saying, heatsink exchange, most channels now only shown 2 orange bars. We believe this is mostly caused by the fact that people are routing the Wi-Fi antenna in the wrong place. They're routing it down between the chipset's here and it's recommended over there. Personally, I'd route it out that way. I'd even cut a notch out of the heatsink to get it out that way. But I need to make a video on this. What is a little bit concerning is there's been a number of comments from people that CaddX are not replying to emails. I don't know what's going on. I've not spoke to them. I am going to be releasing that second video, but I am actually also holding back to wait and see what's happening because I don't like what I'm seeing right now. And I want to give them a fair chance after Chinese New Year. We're back, but I just want to see what happens. But just be aware a minute. I am a little bit concerned with the amount of people who are continuing to have problems. A sip of my tea. Now, I don't want to have to get in the position of having to tell people I don't recommend you buy this product, but I will if this nonsense continues. And look, I've been a big fan of the Goggles X. I think they're a nice product. However, it's getting concerning. I'm beginning to get concerned with CaddX's behavior. There's not right now any good reason why they're not responding to people's messages. And this isn't one person. There is a consistent theme of people posting on the Facebook page that they're not getting responses from CaddX. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But that's the CaddX stuff. Other than that, there's not a lot else to say on CaddX. We're just waiting for it. Moving on quickly to one other thing before we get on to DJI, and that is Speedy Bee. Now, if you remember, I did a review on this, which is the Speedy... It actually wasn't a review, it was an overview with the Speedy Bee Master 5 frame. Bardwell done one as well. It's actually a really nice frame. Now, I'm a little bit sort of annoyed about this and frustrated, but also it's quite cool as well. And what it is, Speedy Bee have actually released an updated version, the Mario 5. And I'm a bit frustrated because I got an email from them last week saying, hey, we've released an updated version specifically designed for 03. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Wasn't the last one designed for 03? We're sitting here talking about it, and then 6 weeks later, there's an update. Now, it's actually still the same frame. It's based on the same frame, but what they've called it is the Mario 5 XH Pro version. Right? So this is what they're calling this SH Pro version, and they've got a Part B kit, which consists of these additional parts, which is 03 cooling side panels. Is it, though? Flight controller side panels. You've got these cooling side panels, stack side panels, and some other accessories as well. And if we scroll down, they also include LEDs. And it's based on the light version with the extra kits. Now, what is cool is that they are accessories that you can get for your existing frame. I like that. That's actually very good. And if you wanted to get that kit, how much was it? I didn't see. The B kit is $17. So it isn't £16, $17. It's not crazy. But it's just a little bit frustrating when you do a review on something and then a small amount of time later, and their documentation was, hey, we've made it even better, specifically designed for the 03. And I just, look, it's a little bit frustrating. I'll probably get them to send me the kit, but just be aware of it. As I spoke about the frame, I thought it's only right that I highlight this. And I'll be honest, it's annoying when manufacturers are pulling stunts like this because you talk about a product and 6 weeks later they've changed it. And that's just nonsense. It really is. So, that's it on the Speedy Bee one. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. For those of you here, 204 of you, welcome. Okay. Let me just get myself set up. One second. I just need to make sure I've got a window ready. Because something has vanished on me. Before we start into this murky world. Okay. In the last week or so, you may have seen some news about a new copy or clone of the DJI A3 hitting the market called the, officially this drone is the Spectre A by a company called Cogito Tech, or I can never pronounce it. Okay? It is this thing here. And I did speak about this last week a little bit, but it is this thing here. Now, there is a channel called Half Chrome that has one of these and is doing a review on it. I'm not really going to get into that. All I'll say from him is he appears to show the drone that is identical in every way to the A, apart from it not having DJI branding over it. Okay? Now, his content to a point is irrelevant in what I'm going to talk about today, because since then, we've also started to see drones similar to DJI. And when I say similar, I mean identical to DJI coming up under other brands. And there are a number of products on the horizon. You've got this here. There's a mini coming by this company. They have a mini drone. They have an FCC. It's basically, we don't know if it's the Mini 3 or the Mini 4, but it's the DJI Mini, basically, it appears to be. And there's also enterprise versions hitting the market as well, such as the Mavic 3E. Now, I've spent a few days going over all of this. There is a huge amount of paperwork in the background. And I'm just going to bring this window over a minute. We have this Cogito Tech company with this Spectre A. That's this drone here, and we've got the test reports for that. They've got their remote controller, which is identical to DJI's. We've got this other drone, which is by a company called Anzu Robotics, Raptor. This is basically the Mavic 3 Thermal and the Mavic 3E Enterprise. This is a picture of it there. Comes in a nice, lovely green. And what is really interesting about these is, in a lot of this FCC documentation, we now actually have internal images. So, for instance, we've got teardown images inside of the drone. And I've spent a lot of time looking at this. We've got more here. Full teardown images inside, so of things like the GPS, the LEDs, the main boards as well. Now, what is incredibly interesting in this, and let me just get it to the right position, and I've spent a huge amount of time looking at this, and let me be clear on one thing from what we know today, okay? So all of these drones, these are not clones or copies, okay? They are the actual product. There are three things that we now know. Number one, that externally the product is identical. I can now confirm today that internally these products are identical. So much so, right? I'm going to put an image up on the screen for you that I've put together. And I've put this together, which is going through the current situation. Now, this is an image comparing the DJI model to the Anzu Robotics model. So, for instance, here externally, you can see that it's identical. And this has been shared on Twitter today. Sorry, X today. But this is the real cool stuff, right? Internally, the DJI, the power board, it is the same board. It even has the same model number on. So if you look on the DJI board, it's PP00314, sorry, PP003134.01 compared to PP00313401. It is literally the same board, same component layout, same everything. down to the GPS, same part number, same board, everything is identical. If we get down to the main board, whilst they left the thermal compound on here, it is the same layout. I can't quite read the serial number, the part numbers on these boards, but they even have all of the same stuff up here. And now we get to the real pièce résistance, the party piece, which is, if we look at this side of the board, we know that DJI in here has their main OcuSync chipset. You have Eagle 3T, you have the other chipset here, and you have the P1 here. And what do we find in this drone? The P1, the DJI chipset. This is the same drone. This is the same manufacturing. This is not a clone. This is the product. Now, what's really interesting here, and this is point 2 I'm making, this chip, the P1, is the DJI own custom ASIC. Okay? As far as we know, it is their in-house ASIC. No one else has this. The only other company we have ever seen that chipset with was CaddX FPV with the CaddX Vista, which we know was a DJI partnered product. There is nothing else on the market that isn't DJI other than that has this OcuSync chipset. This chipset, and I labeled this in here, this chipset is what DJI have always called their crown jewels. This chipset is OcuSync. We have a new one around the corner, but this is their very in-house IP. And this tells us something. This tells us this isn't a copy, right? This is DJI. One way or another, this is DJI, okay? Further to this, on Twitter, X, I keep forgetting what it's called, the guys, KF, Conrad, and a bunch of other guys have been posting all day, and they have even confirmed that the firmware for these drones are on DJI servers, and in fact, even has DJI in the name for them. DJI appeared to be handling the activation. DJI appeared to be handling the full update of it. These are DJI products, okay? Now, what is strange about this whole situation is, first of all, these are completely unknown companies registered in the US and then Hong Kong, right? With what they are both calling is manufacturing in Malaysia. Both of these companies are saying their products are made in Malaysia, which is quite interesting, considering DJI always say that their products are made in China. DJI say they're China. If we find the label, where's the label? There it is. They specifically state made in Malaysia, which is interesting. You can see down here on this one, made in Malaysia. Also, the products are only FCC certified. We've seen no CE certification or anything else. And the labels don't have pretty much else certification either that I've seen. Actually, here's interesting. Now, this is interesting. And I've just spotted this. The Raptor has ASTM. That means the Raptor is fully RID compliant. Now, we don't know about the other one, but it is fully RID compliant. Now, I've spent a huge amount of time going through these, going through the internal images for the remote controllers as well. So you've got their version of the DJI RC Pro, again, with DJI's custom chipset inside. These products are... Yeah, they've misspelled Malaysia. Let's get back. Where's the label? Have they? What did I do with the label? I've lost the label. Let me find it. There it is. MalYsia. It was, I was trolling them. Sorry. I thought, I was thinking then of you think. So, what we know is these are DJI products, okay? They are the same PCBs. I can literally find close to no differences other than maybe manufacturing variations between the boards. Now, the real question on this is why? Why would they do this? And there are two theories, and I don't think either of these add up, okay? Number one was DJI did this to try and get past any potential ban from the US. I think it's just too obvious. The fact that the drones are identical externally, let alone internally, makes me think that's not the case. Okay? If they were the same inside but not outside, yeah, maybe actually you could think about it. But I don't believe that they're identical. As for whether they wanted to make other drones for use in other parts of the world where some bad things are going on, I could see that happening, but why would you get them FCC certified? They don't need to be FCC certified. If DJI was selling them into a war zone, they could just send them in without any certification. We wouldn't even know these would exist if that was the case. I honestly, nothing in this adds up. Honestly, nothing adds up. To me, if you were going to... The only thing I have thought of is perhaps if they thought about flooding the market with clones, you'd basically change the snake into Medusa, and it could potentially make it very difficult for, say, the FCC to ban one over the other. Fake competition doesn't add up. It doesn't feel right. I don't get it. Genuinely, something here. There is DJI crown jewels here. Now, don't get me wrong. They may be in complete control, so they may not have given away anything. Could I actually see DJI sort of create sub-brands? Yes. But it wouldn't even really need FCC certification. Something is odd. They are slowly rebranding their company. I'm not sure. It doesn't add up. Conrad is on. We still don't know what will happen with the Ronin DJI Osmo Action FCC converted list yet. Still very much in the air. Yeah, it is. We don't know. It feels off. Ooh. Some food has arrived. It feels off. Something doesn't add up to me still. I think, look, it's murky as hell. It is dodgy as you like. They are trying to hide something. What I don't really get is, look, both of these products have basically been released. If you take this thing on Amazon, there isn't even a website for the company. They haven't even set up a website yet. So we're meant to believe, and I'm going to have a little rant here. So if we talk about this Amazon drone, okay? So this drone that's appeared on Amazon, right? We're meant to believe this company, who have publicly stated, bearing in mind, that they are not part of any other drone company. They actually have replied it to more than one person, not only in the reviews, but also replied back to KF and others as well. They have said they are not part of any other company. Where is it in here? It is written in here somewhere that they replied. Something is off. So we got a company who says they're not part of any other drone company, okay? They don't have a website. They enter the market selling on Amazon, and they've sent one to one person in the whole of the drone FPV drone space. Bearing in mind, there are thousands of creators who review Mavic Airs, Minis. And they've sent it to one guy, and now they've sent both models, potentially. I don't know. They could have sent one, they could have sent two. I don't know what they've sent. I don't know. He had a broken one, I think, so I don't know if they've sent him a replacement. I haven't been following it. They don't have a website. They don't have any public details, yet they've got this. Something doesn't add up. If this was DJI, they, Cogito, misleadingly said they are not affiliated with any company on the covered list on the FCC certifications filing. That's why the bill, it's the bill that spooked them. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's a really weird thing that's been done. It's weird. It's weird, weird, weird. Look, for me, if DJI was going to release a new brand into the market, right, you would get a nice, shiny new website. It would all be shiny, new, and look all good. So, the basics are, these are DJI products, but they have a separate fork of firmware, which is managed by DJI. They require activation, just like the DJI products. We believe they're probably manufactured in the same place. They might actually be assembled elsewhere. I wouldn't buy one of these. I wouldn't go near it with a freaking barge pole. I have no issues recommending DJI products. You can pull up the statement on... Yeah, I'll have a look now. I have no issues recommending DJI. Always have. No problems at all. Yes, they're a pain in the ass. Yes, they do stupid stuff. Yes, they do some murky stuff at times. I would not go near one of these with a barge pole, okay? Just what I'm going to say. It's some... We still today don't know what this is all about. Now, the next question, and as Conrad mentioned earlier, what is the situation with the other products, the ground-based products? Are we going to see the Ronins? And then the next question is FPV. What about DJI FPV? Are we going to see an unbranded set of goggles? Are we going to see an unbranded set of ear units? There was a lot of talk about ear units popping up randomly, but it appears that was just some distributor doing stuff. They actually photoshopped over the DJI logo. This all could be a little bit of desperation by some people to try and, you know, DJI white labeling their product doesn't seem particularly strange. Are they cheaper? Not really, as I understand it. It's not really cheaper. It's not. What's interesting about this kit is you can't buy this drone. So you can't buy the ear in this kit. Okay. So if you go to DJI, okay, .com, you can't actually buy the DJI Air 3 in this configuration. So the Air store... no, thank you. Camera drones. The Air... Come on. Air 3. Let's have a look. The configurator, I don't actually think you can get it in this configuration. Let me just go to the US so we've got a similar pricing. So you can get the Air 3 with the RCN2, okay, which is $1,099. You have to get the Fly More kit. No, sorry. You have to get the Fly More kit, which is $1,549, right, to get that remote controller. However, if you add up the accessories, it doesn't really work out, because when we go to the Air 3, if we check how much that remote is, so that remote is $369. How much are DJI charging for the standard remote? Let's have a look. Are they charging for the RCN2? Have they got it on here? No. How much is the drone on its own? Can you buy the drone on its own, actually? I don't know if they actually sell it on its own now. There's no similar configuration, but the price isn't... how much is the Fly More kit? Can you get the Fly More kit on its own? There's no similar configuration, but I don't believe if you add it up, there's much on it. What is also interesting about all of these drones as well, and I think it was Conrad that said this, you'll notice there are no versions of these third-party drones with the RCN2. And the reason likely for that is you would require a dedicated app for iOS and Android, which they'd have to push through the Google and Apple stores. Instead, they're only shipping these with the remote with the built-in Android system where they can push DJI Fly Direct. Are the batteries and parts interchangeable, Free Range Chicken says? No. Physically fittable, yes. However, DJI has intentionally blocked the use of batteries and remote controllers and accessories on these products. It is blocked in firmware. Now, I suspect we might see a hack for that fairly soon. DJI has intentionally blocked them. They've changed the hardware IDs. In the end, it is all very, very murky. It is all rather crazy and dodgy. But what I will definitely go back to is this. And that is that these are the same drones. iFlight is a known DJI subsidiary. If you live in the US and fly iFlight kit, it might be prudent to buy Nazgul. Conrad, there's a lot of confusion about this. iFlight is actually a separate company. DJI, there is two companies called iFlight. So the iFlight we have are not DJI. And I've done a lot of digging into that. There's a lot of confusion around that because DJI also have a company called iFlight Limited. Or whatever it is. But they're not actually the same. Now, there are definitely links between iFlight RC and DJI. Definitely links between iFlight RC and DJI. Because there is some stuff we found that sort of makes you wonder. But there's been nothing 100% confirmed. What we've had is there's definitely two companies with the same name. That we know. But there's just no links. But there are... Look, all of these guys are very close to each other in China anyway. Links is a loose statement, you know. But I go back to this. It is the same product, and it has the crown jewels. Yeah, there's two iFlights. There are two iFlights. It's confused me. I spent a lot of time looking into this, and there is no link. And I've even... Look, I asked some people who know, and it were involved, and it was no. What's confusing is DJI had a company called iFlight as well. DJI have had that name for years, mind. But staff move between all these companies all the time. Yeah, iFlight Technologies is one of the parents. Yeah, they've got loads of names. DJI have subsidiaries all over the place. But yeah, in the end, it comes down to it is a DJI product. Don't be fooled. What are they up to? If they think this is an attempt to get past the FCC, what's actually quite concerning in this, though, is all of these have slipped through without a problem. All of these have gone through without an issue. All into certification. The addresses used in the US appear to be some basic, like, randomo addresses used for setting up new businesses that don't really exist. Even the Hong Kong address is a lawyers, solicitors, whatever we want to call it. Evening, Jims. It's all rather murky. Now, what's around the corner? Who knows? I have even thought, and I don't really want to go here, I have wondered something. and I got to be very careful what I say here. If China was decided to make a move on something very big that may have a H and a K in it, I do wonder if this is a player making sure they've got as much product into the market as possible. I don't know. I have just wondered. Yeah, I want to be careful what I say because I don't want to trip over some algorithm problems. But I wonder. I do wonder. We're going to have to wait and see. JD Dumpy has written it. I don't want to trip into algorithmic problems. I do wonder. With everything going on in the world, genuinely, I do wonder. And if this is something to do with that. Let's wait and see. So, don't buy it. I was tempted to order one in to have a look, but there's no point. The FCC images have told us everything we need to know. How does this affect FPV? Today, it doesn't. As far as I'm aware, the Avata still launches. Why are the Anzu drones green? Well, it looks painted. Or at least it's really badly painted. It's not actually the plastic color. When they've gone into it, right? So if I go into this is the stupid thing, right? In the Raptor, which images is it, right? Let me go into some of these. Right, so there's some, look at this, right? So they've broke into the plastic to have a look. And look, it's grey. It looks like a skin or a paint or something over the top. It's literally the old colour, and it's been painted or something to obscure it. I can't figure out if it's a skin where they've clearly burnt it to get in or done something. It's like, really? Really? Could you not have got in that arm any tidier than that? For starters, did you have to use a pickaxe? And secondly, really? Everything about this is a crap show. Everything about this, no websites, the product looks painted, everything just looks off. Why would you, how do you, I don't know. So, as for what this means for FPV, the Avata 2 is about the 11th. DJI sent me one to review, so make sure you are subscribed. No, they didn't. I couldn't even say that if they did. So, you know that as I do. Out of the Chinese house from the ALOL. Yeah, thanks for that, JD. Yeah, there's a pinpoint on me. Yeah, let's just say after the stuff we've posted on Twitter today, there's another target on my back. So, but yeah, DJI is not upset with me at all. They sent me an Avata 2 to review, and I will be talking about it on the 11th of April. Oh, OBS is whinging at me. That's weird. Yes, so I don't know who has one. Stream went down as soon as you said, oh, is it back up? That's weird. Yeah, that's weird. I got a ping on OBS. That's weird. Yeah, I'm being hacked as we speak. DJI is trying to get me down. We will survive. We will survive. Some Chinese devices are going rogue. My capture card has been... DJI have sent something to my capture card to try and hack me out. I could be being DDoS'd. You never know. Oh, I can tell you now, they won't be happy with that image. I probably do know too much. JD Dumpy has said, you know too much. I probably do. If I fall out of a window, you know what happened. I'm just going to say this now, okay? If I fall out of a window, you know what happened. But yes, so I will get one on launch day. The people I would be keeping my eyes out for on day one would be Ken Dobo. Ken's always going to give a genuine review. Absolutely, without any doubt. Then I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of people. I don't want to name some people because I know they haven't got it, so I got to be careful. But Ken Doe, but I don't know if Ken's got it. I know nothing. I would assume he will be involved in the launch because Ken has been. So I don't know genuinely. Billy Kyle, not the greatest fan. I think Ken. Look, Ken is the one I recommend. Ken Dobo. It's that simple. I can't comment on the impartial. I'm not saying that Billy Kyle isn't impartial. I don't know. I don't watch his content. I can't comment on it. I just can't. Ken, I know, will tell the truth. Because he's an asshole a lot of the time. I love you, Ken. You know that. But I do know Ken will tell the truth. I'm moving on from James's comment. There could be others. I'm not saying others are not genuine, but what you are going to get is a lot of ads, a lot of paid content, and a lot of re-glossing to make sure to make sure people get the best engagement on launch day. Now, I'll be honest. With regards to the drone, I think it's going to be pretty boring. I think it's very good. I don't think there's really anything to complain about. If you think about the drone, it's really this simple. It's an Action 4, new updated Avata. It's going to be great. The drone's going to be better. The stuff I've been told already, the falling out the sky problems have been fixed. It's much quieter, longer flight time, better camera. What's not to like? The drone is going to be fantastic. What you've got to sort of get your head around is the goggles. And I'll be talking about the goggles and the drone when I get them. But then this whole camera pass-through and all of this stuff. And that's the bit we need to understand. And then all of the stuff that other people don't talk about and all of the FPV testing and all of the RF testing on 04, because there's a lot to understand. Any new info? No, I've not heard any more. I think unusable isn't necessarily the right term, but complete waste of time was the word that was used for me. But that could be someone's interpretation. You've got to take that into account. Also, DJI, look, I've always said this. I think DJI messing up those cameras would be a shock because how can they get that wrong? They make drones for a living. But look, let's wait and see. But if it's available on day one, I'll be walking into the store and buying it on day one. And that's only because of the amazing support of you guys, the Patreons on the channel and things like that. But if you want to have an overview of the drone and things, Ken Dobo, for me, Ken will be the one I watch on day one. That's what I'll be looking for. I'd probably watch Potato Jet. I genuinely like Potato Jet's channel. I've gone off a few of the others, I'll be honest. iPhondo I was always a big fan of, but not so much these days. I think for me, I always like Potato Jet. I think he does a decent job. He always does a decent job. He really does. It would be interesting to see if DJI would add a low latency mode on the O4E unit, probably lower resolution. I think it's hard for them to reduce the latency anymore. It's not necessarily the resolution that's giving them the latency. It's the error correction. It's a balance. They will try the crick route first, and if that doesn't work, they'll change the board layout. Yeah, maybe. Grant, that's a point. Oh, thank you, Emin. So, look, when it comes out, I'll get it. We'll wait and see. I'm really looking forward to it. I like the Avata. I think the Avata 2, everything I've heard is that it's a better drone in every way. It's the drone the Avata 1 should have been. And that's great. And for me, that's great. I'd love to have been able to sell my Avata, but I need to keep both for the review. It won't pay for itself, but what I will be doing is building a lot of the content that other people don't necessarily have the ability to do. And Dustin. And look, my comment on other people, look, I look for very specific things in reviews. The drone industry, look, you got to understand, DJI is all about engagement. They work with creators that get good engagement. You got to interpret what good means. You know, DJI, here's the truth on something, and this is another, I may as well really toss the hand grenades into the room. When I was meant to review, and I have said this before, when I was meant to review the FPV drone and I pulled out of it, part of the reason I pulled out is they were very keen on ensuring the correct engagement. And DJI give incentives for engagement. So, if you had an engagement level, and I'm not talking about affiliate links here, I'm talking about engagement of people in certain segments. DJI were very keen on the Avata to get it into new areas. Places like cycling groups, BMXing, quad bikes, off-road motorbikes, and that ilk of people. And for a certain amount of engagement on groups, I could have earned up to $1,000 in DJI credit. So that is what you've got to take into account with some of what you see. DJI pay not just necessarily for affiliate links, but they will also pay for what they feel is positive engagement. And I would love them to deny that because I have the paperwork. And that's an NDA I've just broke there. But as far as I'm concerned, it's no longer relevant. So that's what you've got to take into account. They have... So when you're looking at reviews, and I'm not saying everyone is biased, they're not. But one, you got to look at someone, right, who does a review and they go, we've traveled to Mexico to film this. Who the fucking hell do you think has paid for that? Let's be honest. Who do you think has paid for that? Right? There is 100,000 views, right, on a video is not paying for you to go to Mexico. 100,000 views isn't paying me to go to the toilet these days on YouTube. I'm not sure breaking the NDA works like that. As far as I can see, this is no longer relevant. Well, I stepped out of that agreement. So as far as I'm concerned, that NDA is no longer relevant. Because I did I actually sign that one? Can't remember. But hey, the relationship is over. I break that NDA. I disconnect it because I didn't benefit from that. There was no agreement to had because I walked away from that one. But yeah, if someone says, you know, we've flown to the other side of the country to do this, who do you think is paying for that? Don't be fooled into thinking these YouTube channels with 1, 2, 3, 400 subs all have the money to do all of this stuff. Someone is paying. I can promise you now, it ain't the bloody creator. This works really well. What DJI actually like you to do is what they used to start doing is ask a creator, we have something coming up. Tell us how you would be able to meet these objectives with a new product. So showcase it in this kind of thing and do this and do that. And what you then do is sort of propose a video to DJI in advance doing a load of stuff, and then they'd basically commission it. And they'd pay you to do that. Yeah. You got to understand, if a guy's sitting in his shed and he's talking about it and he's been flying it around his local field, or he's been on holiday and he said, look, I took it on holiday. I'd even question if someone was on holiday. You got to wonder, but if the family's with him, you know what I mean? Look, take it into account. But if it's, I went to the other side of the country to show you this, it's like, really though? Did who paid for that? Because a full-time creator's got to make a living, and no one questions that. but you just got to add in your head. When you look at a video, you look at what Mr. Beast is doing, we know how it works. Look at a creator with 70,000 subs, 100,000 subs, 300,000 subs even, and they spend a huge amount of money on the video, someone pays. Does DJI provide a visual observer? Not as far as I'm aware. Other than the drone. The drone is the visual observer. So that's me burning every bridge with DJI tonight. Anyway, so that's the end of that. There's no point banging on about it for too long. If you have any questions, there's 351 of you. Please ask them in the chat and I will try and answer them. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please give us a like. Please don't forget to subscribe as well. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has given us 71 likes already. That's incredible. I also have a Patreon and a Discord if you'd like to support the channel. I do need every penny I can get as we do go up to the launch of the Avata 2. So if you'd like to support us, there is a link to Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. Super chats are welcome as well if you want to say hi or you want to say anything. But please do take into account that YouTube is going to take a huge amount of that money. You are far better, actually, if you want to donate to the channel, use Buy Me a Coffee because they take a far smaller chunk than YouTube does. YouTube takes 30%, I think it is. Bloody ridiculous. I need merch messages. What's the best pickaxe to use for teardowns? It's got to be a wholehearted US one. None of these Chinese-made pickaxes. When will I be making the full video on the Cinetronics HDMI in? Probably in a week and a half. I've had some stuff I've been trying to finish. That printer review is one of them. Really, the board works. There's not a lot more to say than... I did go earlier today. Yes, I did. Go back in time if you missed it. Or go back, watch it after. The video, it works. 720p, 60 frames a second, input to a Vista. Or a unit. It works. Doesn't work on the goggles 2 very well. Works fine on the V2s, though. In my opinion, how much do you think the Avata 2 kit will cost? Avata integrated motion. I think it'll be 1,200 quid. $1,200 or $1,300. I think it's only going to go up. I reckon it'll be closer to $1,300. I am doing a DIY thermal setup. Yes, that's what's taken me a bit of time. I've had some problems with the Pi. But I'm trying... A lot of this kind of stuff is more complicated to do than just make a video and get it out. It takes a bit of messing around with and time. I've got a very busy week and then I'm on holiday for a week. I'm not going to be in a position to get it done in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. It definitely works. There's going to be a part 1 video and probably then a part 2. What will it cost? I don't know. I genuinely don't know what the cost of the board is. Will there be a Mavic 4 thermal soon? Possibly. It does appear that DJI are replacing a lot of their consumer drones. We do know the new Mavic 4 is in the pipeline. That is a fact. And a new Mini. Any news on the Afterburner? No, I've not flown. Look, I've still barely flown this year. Between the bathroom, the Afterburner is great. I haven't flown it this... Have I flown it this year? I don't know. I've not really flown any quads this year. Barely flown this year. The Afterburner is great. No complaints. Absolutely fantastic quad. I'll be talking about it a lot more once the weather really turns. How's the bathroom looking? Expensive. Today I picked up the tiles. I was in Wicks in the UK this afternoon picking up tiles, tile adhesive, grout, edging, 30 litres of paint. Yeah, basically. And that's taking up a lot of my time. And I got a family holiday in a little bit of time as well. So, who pays for the holiday? Me, unfortunately. Do I know if the Avata 2 will be able to fly by DJI Pro remote instead of using the goggles? There is whispers, yes, but I don't know what remotes. It wasn't 30 litres of paint. That was me talking crap. What'd I get? It might have been 30 litres of paint. The ceiling, I had to get a tub of emulsion as well for the ceiling. It's not a big bathroom, but there's a lot of ceiling. There's 3 different colours, unfortunately. I still don't have a shower. I have a bath now, but I don't have a shower. The shower's being tiled this week. So we're still surviving on a bath only. I bet the Pi OS adds a lot of latency. Oh, it does it and then some, yes. We will know if it comes from a holiday destination. Yeah, I don't think it's releasing before then, is it? I don't have one, so yeah. If I end up at Butlins, do we know what CX label? We don't. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be. It's about 400 to 500 grams still. 400 to 500 grams. So what? It's probably still gonna be C2. Or C1, whichever one it is. No, I'm going somewhere wet. I'm staying within the UK. For those who want to know, I'm going to Butlins with my kids. As for 04 versus 03 thermal characteristics, from FCC data, will it need to dump more heat? No, probably less. It's the new chipset probably dumps less heat. I would expect. A little. Won't be a lot in it. It is. Weather is slowly picking up. Today was a great morning, but I just couldn't fly. I just didn't have the time. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, but that's the chipset is smaller now as well. It's probably a new node, so that helps. Okay, now, next I want to talk quickly, because I don't want to go on forever tonight, but next I want to talk about a new set of motors from Chris Rosser. Now, I don't have them. Before anybody says anything, it's not a new frame. He hasn't made a version 8 of his motors. However, Chris has released a new video called The Ultimate 7-inch Motor. And he has released, if I go to the desktop, I haven't actually watched this video yet, I'll be honest. I haven't had time. He has released the video, and they are now listed on the AOS RC website. 7-inch motors, 2807s. Are they 2807? I don't know. I've not watched the video. I've not had a chance to really say anything or take a look at what his comments with regards to performance are versus this. He does show, he says 25% more torque, 11% more better responsiveness. How does that transfer into real world results? I can't comment. What I will say is this, and I've had people asking, the one drone I have flown is this, and there will be a part 2 on this, I promise. It's taken me a bit of time. There will be a part 2. Supernovas, I have some. Interesting. Tell me what you think. So, this is Chris's new frame of motors, and look, this is all really nice gear, okay? I really like these motors. I really like the frame. Can I tell you that there is any improvement over a set of Zings? No. I'm sorry, I can't. Genuinely, I'm not willing to say they are any better from a performance point of view than a set of Zings. I just can't. I just can't. Chris has got his bench testing. Now, that could just mean my piloting skills might not notice it. I bent 2 of them on a second pack. Zing 2s are very, very good motors. It's so close, I'm not that good to tell the difference. Yeah, and this is my point. Are they a premium motor? Yes. Are they a very high quality product? Yes. Is the worth the cost to you? That's down to you to decide. Now, obviously, Chris has now got these, which is his 7-inch Vision, which look really nice. They're a lovely looking motor. Best part is they don't burn up. That's great. I don't really burn up motors anyway. I don't crash, and I try not to crash too much to... Yeah, and actually, that's a good point. I try to support Chris. What I would say is this, and I was talking about this on my Discord, because obviously there's always people, like if you're reviewing a product and then you're going to bring a product out. If I was selling a product like this, I'd say this, and this is what I would be saying. I've made these motors based on the feedback of all of the testing off the other motors. In my testing, I think they are higher performance, better battery, more thrust, whatever you want to say, than the others. However, at the end of the day, this isn't independent testing, and as a result of that, you should make up your own mind. Now, I would say only buy these motors if you want to support me, or you want a really high quality motor. I think it's really hard to quantify, let me go to the overhead, these motors being that much power or better than another motor on the market. I think it's really hard. And what we don't know is if on a dyno that 10% makes a difference, does that translate into anything in the real world? I just don't know. I just don't know. It's hard to say. And I get lots of people asking, what do I think about motors? It's good. They're very, very, very good. I think they are some of the nicest motors I have seen. Fit and finish, quality is as good as it gets. They are phenomenal. But you're paying for that, and they should be that good. Are they, though, going to be any better than a Zing 2? I can't back that up. I'm sorry, I can't say. I'm not willing to say yeah. Not for the Bando. 100%. I don't think they're for the Bando. I think they're a phenomenal motor, but I think the Zings are as good a motor. And that's all I can say. And my opinion is, if you want to buy a set and you want to support Chris, absolutely do it. If you want to have absolutely unequivocal factual data on why they're better than any other motor on the market, I don't think you'll get it. And you can't use Chris's charts because Chris is the manufacturer. And I think Chris is brilliant. I love Chris. He's a great guy. But I have to say he's the manufacturer. So I have to take his charts with a pinch of salt as I would take anyone else's. And that's it. So that's the reality. I think it's a really good motor. It's a very nice motor. What's the real stator size? It's not far off. I can't remember. I've actually forgot. I've actually forgot. Is it 22.6 by 7.4 or something like that? I can't remember. I think it's a little bigger. I think it was a little bigger. I really love this quad. I do genuinely. I think, you know what? I will say this. I think this is a very, very good quad. Nicest motors. Yeah, definitely. This is a very, very good quad. I really do like the new AOS. It really is. The only thing I will say with the Ross's motors are they are a little bit noisy. .6 by 7.6 or something. Yeah, that was, I believe it. It was closer to 23 by 8. 2308 really is what I should say. I think it was closer to. Oh, what's the real size of the 2087s? I don't know. I've not seen them. What I'll say is they're a phenomenal looking motor, and I guess they will perform very, very well. What I did see in the charts, and I haven't watched his video, I think what one of the guys on my Discord said was one of the big takeaways from Chris's video was the Eco 2s, how good the Eco 2s were for the price, considering what are the Eco 2s? 10, 12 pounds, 10, 12, $14 a motor. Someone mentioned from Chris's charts, and I don't know where it is in his video. I think what was... and you should go and watch Chris's video at the end of the day. He's got a summary scores on there. Go watch his video, Chris's video and channel. Where are they on here? Let's have a look. Emax Eco 2s. Yeah, look at the Eco 2s. They're right up there with the Supernovas. Just look at that. So max torque, they're one of the highest. Max thrust, they're one of the highest. And they're 15 quid a motor. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that's a real takeaway. That is really interesting. And it shows the zings down here. Meh. Why are there not zings at 2806? Here's just a question. I haven't looked. 2806, 2806, 2807, 2806, 20 gap. 2806, 2806. 1300, 1200. Is that the closest KV they had? Was it? Ah, right, okay. Go watch Chris's video, though. He's got a lot of great data in there. And if you want to support Chris, he does have a Patreon as well. And I think if you're a Patreon of Chris's, it gets you access to his place where he stores all of his charts and everything else as well. With regards to that, I am going to just remind everyone that I do have fpvwiki.co.uk as well. Nothing's changed on there for a little bit. Where I do upload my stuff, and including, if you were interested in finding out more about that DJI P1 chipset that I talked about earlier, there is an entire article on that there as well. And there is a fantastic article on fpvwiki.co.uk about the history of digital FPV, actually. And I'm working my way through it. But this has a lot of history about what DJI have done and a lot of history about a lot of other stuff as well. It also has the cool stuff. So, for instance, if you need a teardown of an O3 air unit, we have all of the images. So if I scroll down, you've even got for the O3 the frequency chart, as well as all of the teardown images for O3 as well. Not only, though, do we have that for O3, yeah, I need to do the goggles 1 and 2. Is the wiki somehow excluded from search engines? I don't know. It's probably not working through Google. I probably need to sort the SEO out. HDZero, the Moonlight kit. So we've got all the teardown of that as well. For the CaddX. And I also put in a load of useful links as well. And there's more stuff I need to add. And there's also links to these channels as well. So that's there if you need it. You're just going to need... do they have a dual antenna mount? If not, you're just going to have to try and make one or find one. You need some of the YouTube ads about SEO up to customization service. Yeah, probably. I've done no SEO. I need to go... What I actually... Here's the truth. I haven't registered it with Google on the crawler. There you go. I need to register it. I haven't even done that. Now you've said that, I've thought I haven't registered it. I don't think it's SEO optimization. I think it even needs beginning. I don't think I've stuck it on the crawler. It's going to explode. Yeah, I think I need to go and do that. I had to type the URL to find it. Yeah, I think I need to do that. I've forgotten that you have to even do that. Shows you the last time I've done a website. Oh, that's a little task I need to go and do. It will find it. Yeah, it'll find it. And you got the crawl. I haven't done it for ages. Google Ads and all of that. So, okay. Now, that is it from me tonight. I'm going to keep it nice and short. Thank you for watching tonight's stream. I really do appreciate it. We should be back. No, there won't be a stream next week. I'm away. I don't think there'll be a stream next week. Let's see what happens. I might do a mobile bench one again. I did that one before with my phone, if you remember. That could be fun. Look after yourself. Stay safe. And I won't necessarily be back same time, same place next week. And I will speak to you soon. Now I got to find the buttons. Later.